Hey, you guys. I'm out here at a training and got up pretty early today. Uh, so, I don't know. I just kind of wanted to speak on something that happened yesterday where I feel like people listen but they don't listen, or there are some people that are not used to being aware or really understand what it means to really be aware when it comes to certain things, or being mindful. I look so tired. So one of my coworkers came inside and she was telling another coworker, because we were all in the same room, she was telling another coworker about how she had this dream about a big spider. She didn't understand what it meant. And I said, well, don't mind me. I said, but here I go, giving my spiritual input, from the inside of what I know. And I said, for you to have a dream about a spider means that your intuition is telling you to pay attention to it. I said, so for whatever you have going on in your life right now, your intuition is just telling you, pay attention. It's something your intuition wants you to be aware of. And she's like, and so one of the little boys that was on her roster that she was watching was the brother, not that it matters, was the brother of the other little boy that I was in the room shadowing with my coworker that she was talking to. And he had, okay, get this, he had on his shirt Spider-Man. And so as you know, I'm trying to tell her this, and she's like, like, okay. And I said, you see what's on his shirt? And she's like, Spider-Man. And I said, yeah. I said, that's confirmation for you, because you had the dream about a spider. I'm telling you that it means your intuition is telling you to pay attention. And now for this little boy to come here, and he's on your roster, you're watching him, and he's wearing a Spider-Man shirt, your intuition is screaming at you to pay attention and be aware of whatever it is that you're going on. There's something that you're going through that you need to pay attention to your intuition, and not just, you need to just pay attention to your intuition. I said, I don't know what you got going on, but that is what your intuition is telling you, to pay attention. And she's talking about school and some kind of test or whatever that I guess she's supposed to be taking, still not even paying attention. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is just crazy. So anybody that knows anything about Spider-Man, when you're watching Spider-Man, what does he always say when it comes to how he's feeling? And this is, again, his intuition. He says, oh, my spidey senses are tingling. Pay attention to your intuition. I cannot stress it enough. Now, I know that, when I say things or whatever, it may not count for nothing. And a lot of people may not believe in the stuff that I say. But this really is the universe's way of talking to us and helping us understand what it is that we need to know. But some people are so some people are not used to listening and understanding the way that spirit works, or if you don't want to say spirit, the universe works when we're getting these messages. But again, it's that quiet, small voice when you get that feeling inside where there's something that you need to know, or something that you really, really just need to pay attention to when it comes to your intuition. And because what happens is, as children, we are sometimes programmed to go against our intuition. We become unfamiliar with what that voice sounds like. And it's like this. And we do it all the time. We go against our natural inclination when it comes to something. And then later, we say, man, I knew that I should have done this or done that, or something was telling me not to do this or to do that, and we don't listen to it. Oh, I've lost weight. This shows me that I've lost weight because it can slide right off my finger. Look at that, it just slides right off. That's how I could tell when what my weight is, by the rings on my finger, how hard or easy they are to come off and on. But that's really what it is. If you, and again, we don't always take account to what we see in nature with things. Sometimes we want insight on things. We don't pay attention to it. Like seeing numbers, a certain sequence of numbers over and over again. If we wake up at a certain time over and over again, we need to start understanding how the universe speaks to us, or how nature speaks to us, especially when we are going through things. This is how you begin to navigate through life. And people will ask, how did you know that? Or how to understand. So many things are right there in our face, and we fail to see it because we're taught that this stuff is superstitious. You know what I mean? By not taking into account numerology, by not taking into account astrology, all these different things. But if you're looking at this from a biblical standpoint, numerology and astrology, astronomy, were all through the Bible, okay? When you look at, like, really do a deep study and see and understand what these things were talking about. 3 is very significant in the Bible. 7 is very significant in the Bible. 10 is very significant in the Bible. Even when you look at the so-called wise men, they said that they read the stars. And that's how they knew where and when Jesus was going to be in his timing of birth. But we discount those parts of the Bible because we've been programmed to believe that understanding those aspects of things is evil. And that's because those that actually really know and understand don't want the everyday person to fully use their mind to be able to manipulate their reality in a way that will benefit them. They don't want us to know that. So instead, they'd rather fill our minds with fear, doubt, superstition and things like that, and make it seem as though those things are evil when they are actually using those things to dominate, have mind control and power over the masses. When we talk about being woke, this is just being mindful, being in an understanding or a frame of mind where you really do understand more of what everyday things look like when it comes to how we should be utilizing our mind and our brain power to actually being a God over our lives. So, you can think what you will, but I've been on both sides of the spectrum. And in the religious world, you're taught to just believe blindly without asking any questions, which I don't think is right. Because we all have an internal GPS system that we need to be following. And until we get used to listening to the correspondence of that, we're always going to be lost in some form or fashion. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully y'all get something out of it. And where are my glasses? Hopefully y'all get something out of it. Because all I want to do is really to have people understand more about how to navigate their own lives. So I hope this helps. But if you're ever wondering, if you start seeing spiders everywhere, and depending on how big they are and how small they are, your intuition is telling you to pay attention. There's something that you really need to be aware of. So I hope this helps, and if it does, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Be well.